We should be live, but I'm just gonna double check and make sure I've got my audio's all working. Now we can get this race underway. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Premier Series here at Gavra Racing, here at Spa for round number 3 in Belgium. And we start this qualifying session off with the championship leader EJM Cool, currently leading the championship on 38 points, 11 points clear of Caden behind in the Williams, who isn't here tonight. So the Red Bull driver at an advantage already. Third place in the championship, Vote Kick not here either. So that means his nearest championship contender, Mason, currently in 15th place, but no one's done a lap as of yet. He is in 4th place in the championship, actually at equal on points. There's only 1 point between 2nd and 4th place in the championship as things stand. It is very close after the first 2 races of the season. This could be a race where EJM Cool extends his championship lead after a chaotic end to the USA Grand Prix last week. If you missed that one, I would recommend watching the whole race. It was a thrilling race to watch. I would definitely go recommend it. It's over on our YouTube channel if you haven't seen it already. 3 minutes into the qualifying session, Kane has joined, so he is here to maintain his championship chances against the Red Bull driver, who is starting his flying lap. He's got the DRS wide open in the rundown to the end of the first sector on the medium compound tyres. Liam has gone off on his lap down at Pouon on the soft, so that's, well, the tyre wear is interesting around this track. It's not the best and not the worst, as Kay Alexander has lost it going up Eau Rouge and Radion, and that'll be his qualifying over. Let's double check my audio. Oh, it should be fine. As Paischer goes provisional pole position with a 1:44.2. Sorry guys, just bear with me for 2 seconds. Yeah, we should now be back. Willie Stanker putting his Mercedes in 2nd before being demoted to 3rd place as Tutor Boy goes up into 2nd on the medium tyres. Dutch Musso in 4th on a set of the mediums as well. Nico Zora goes up into 4th now as Mason puts in a time good enough for provisional pole position. 1:43.9. We've still got a few drivers who haven't set lap times in just yet. Sorry, bear with me for just 1 second again. I am actually going to get a co-commentator alongside me for today's race. There we go. I'm in the party. Let's invite them to the session. Apologies about the screen with the pause menu and everything, but we should get it sorted quickly. If I can find them on my friends list, it would be amazing. Definitely speed up the process. There we go. So we've got 12 minutes left in qualifying. Yellow flags in the middle sector. Royal Rumble has retired. We didn't catch that on stream. Joyce Alexander, the Williams, crashing at Eau Rouge as Erod puts his Adidas puts his Haas up into 4th place ahead of his teammate EJM Cool, the championship leader, in 3rd with a 1:44.5, 6/10 of provisional pole position, but he is on the medium compound of tyre. Strategy for Belgium should be a one-stop, whether it's the soft to medium or the soft to hard, depending on how well the drivers can manage their tyres. I think I'd say the harder compounds are at a slight disadvantage due to the lap being so long, but it should make for an interesting race, and the safety car can definitely add a little bit of spice to the race as we welcome someone joining me in the commentary box tonight. Hello.
Hello. Hello everyone, and so I joined that team today because I was going to commentate on a different race, but it was postponed. So I decided, you know what, I was going to join. I'm going to quickly check if, so my microphone is working on the stream, so I was quickly just checking that, and I was going to quickly see if I got an invite. Yep, I got it. And hello everyone. And so today we are here for the Belgian Grand Prix for the Premier Series, one of the second appearance here commentating generally in the Premier Series, and
As we've got a few cars out on track, we're kind of at that phase in qualifying where a lot of drivers are into the pits after finishing their first few laps. It's such a long lap here at Spa. You're only going to get 3 laps in if you do an outlap and then come into the pits immediately, and it's obviously the risk to put in more fuel to do an extra few laps, but then that also degrades the tyres a little bit. We've got a few drivers coming around the final corner who all are coming into the pits, but the Haas of Adidas, who's starting a lap I think on the mediums, which should be interesting, currently on a 1:44.7. Can he put that Haas higher than 4th place?
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting on the mediums here. Could be crucial for strategy here in this race, as tyre wear can strike a very massive thunder to the drivers here, because the tyre wear is quite of a difficult one to manage. Obviously, a lot of high-speed corners, the rears really tend to get ruined, so we'll see how the drivers will manage. But the drivers on the mediums will have the advantage here. As you can see, Adidas having very little wiggles on the rear there. So obviously the grip on the mediums is a bit smaller, but still Adidas managing the grip on those mediums and really using all the curb there, nearly actually invalidated there, as now he's going through Pouhon and still full speed here, no problem at all there. The car feels very good for him, it seems, and now he's going through the Fagnes chicane here, and obviously the curbs around this section do tend to be very notoriously annoying, because sometimes you do spin on them, sometimes you do not. It depends on how much you take it at a certain stage, but still Adidas going through now the final long straight here, go through Blanchimont now, and then to the bus stop chicane, and then he'll go for the bus stop chicane very shortly now, as you can see, braking really hard, and now just he has a massive I thought I thought he had a spin.
Bailing off the medium tyres, maybe opting for to choose on start on the softs, as Kanan and Jansu put themselves in 2nd and 3rd place respectively, whilst we're watching Adidas on his lap Paishu up into 4th place on a set of the soft compound tyres. The top 4 all on the softs, but we've got quite diverse mix between the softs and the mediums. There are 4 drivers inside the top 10 on the harder medium tyre, but I noticed a lot of them have come back out on a set of softs, one of them being Erod in the Haas. So maybe bailing off the medium tyre strategy, wanting to get a higher quality position by starting on the mediums. Soft, sorry.
Yeah, so the yellow flags in sector 3, some drivers are slowing down. Janzu, I think, is out of fuel here, but Mason, currently the pole sitter here, up by 700ths here, as he's trying to push the car here as much as he can, because it is really crucial to get a good exit coming now through the long right hander here, and obviously very hard for traction wise as well here, getting a bit small amount of oversteer there, but still nicely done there from Mason. Now he goes through Pouhon here, no problem at all here. 1:43.9 currently. Can he improve it to maybe a 1 minute 43.9? But Lucas Gold by the slenderest of margins beats him on the meters by 2 milliseconds, so that's a very slender margin, and Lucas Gold is on provisional pole, and now EGM Cool now responds to Lucas and goes with a 43.3.
Mason was improving on his lap and he's invalidated. And that could be another set of soft tyres down the drain. Like you were saying, EGM Cool puts it on pole, but what a stunning lap from Lucas on the mediums. It looked amazing compared to everyone else, but then EGM Cool goes 0.6 quicker, is on the quicker tyre though, and I don't know what the tyre difference is between the mediums and the softs, but 0.6 sounds about right. Errol puts his Haas in second place on the front row of the grid for now, but we've still got 5.5 minutes left to go in qualifying. Nico Zora's almost 0.9 up, going through the bus stop chicane. Can he promote his Alpine into the top 10 from 11th place? Goes into the top 10, improves by 0.7.
Yes, a nice lap there from Nico Zora into the top 10 just about. There by 1.5 from Tootie Boy here on the mediums there, so he could maybe go at the end of the end of qualifying, as I should say, on those soft tyres if he wishes to. Obviously he's on P11, so he can have the free choice of tyre at the start of this race, which could be crucial here, but it depends if there's rain for the race. Hopefully not, because then it would be very chaotic and as well would prove to be a very big challenge for the drivers. Nico Zora, I think, has had a clash at the com. Natty, I believe he has.
Lost. I wasn't looking at how, but has lost the Alpine. It's not got a front right tyre.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much dipped into the barriers there. I think he must have used the curb on the right hand side on the inside, and he pretty much hit it quite like Sergio Perez did on not pretty much the race in the 2021 Belgian Grand Prix in real life. And I'll quickly just look at the chats. Hello to all 15. Hello to Kevin Jutsi. Hello to everyone here right now. And yes, so we're now approaching the end phase of qualifying here, so some drivers will go out on their final runs here to see where will they be for the end of qualifying. But we've still got a bit of time here. Some drivers are preparing for their laps, so we'll see how will they do in the future, which let's see what can Janza do here. He's just about to start a lap, and I'm kind of curious to see what he can do here. He looks quite fast right now, I believe, and I think he can go even faster on this. So let's go on board with Janzu for a lap here. So let's see what he can do here. Janzu now through turn 1 here, braking just before the 50-meter board, and now using the curb, second gear, and he doesn't shift up there quite interestingly for the traction, but absolutely flies now as he's slowing down. So I think he hasn't quite agreed with the start of his lap.
Yeah, might have had a poor run through turn 1. We'll have to see what his delta is like. Only he can see what his delta was out at the exit of turn 1. He's backed off. Looks like Paistu's gone slow through Uruz and Radion. I think he's bailed up his lap as well. There's still time to go for another run. EGM Cool and Errol still in the pits, but I'm sure it looks like the Red Bull team are getting ready to pull a car out on track, and Apex, or the other Red Bull, already out on track. Those are the top two coming out of the pits. We've got, I don't think anyone is actually on a lap. I think Dutch Musso and Liam might be on a lap. Dutch Musso's almost 0.3 up, going through Pouon now, a corner that's so easy to make a mistake, but one that's really important to finding so much lap time, as well as the entirety of this middle sector. It's how much curb are you willing to take? It's a little bit cautious from the Ferrari driver, currently in 13th place, almost 3 seconds off provisional pole position, but is 1.2 seconds up on his time so far. He's only got 3 corners to go before the line. It's how well can he negotiate it. He's got no traffic up in front of him. Also, though, no slipstream yellow flags as the McLaren moves out of the way for Liam behind. The only driver, as well as Robert Codfather, who hasn't set a lap time. Dutch Musso going around the final few corners through the bus stop chicane, up to the line. Can he set a time higher than 13th? Goes up into 8th place, into the top 10. 44.4, only 0.2 off the top 6.
That is a nice lap there from Dutch Moose. So now the checkered flag falls here. So now we will see, can Mason, can Kanan, who's sadly invalidated. Jansu slowing down, so he cannot, I believe, complete a lap unless the game somehow mysteriously allows him to, but he won't be able to, I believe. Yeah, he's still on a lap. So he has one more lap as well as PS2. PS2, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but Kanan retired. I think he's off for the long right-hander.
Oh, Liam's off as well.
Massive crash there, Rouge, sorry. And wow, that was a massive crash there from Liam. Could have been worse, but Liam just about surviving there. Unlucky that one of his tyres did not go off his car. But I'm not sure what happened to Kanan here. Mason goes fastest here, and I think it looks to be pole position here for certainty. But we've got Erod here, who's currently on the lap here in the Haas here. So let's see. We could do 2/10 down in the first sector, so it's not looking good here for the Haas driver. Can anyone else try and challenge that pole position time? EGM Cool currently now. Gonna try and defeat Mason here, and gonna try to contain his impeccable form here, and he's using a slipstream from Mason here, and he's currently 700ths up here, and this is enough if he manages to keep that delta on his car. As you can see, absolutely pushing the car there, Natty, and he's through the com really nicely there, 700ths up in the first sector. So currently he will be actually very, very close to the pole position time if he crosses the line, 700ths up there. But I'm not sure if it's going to be enough here. EJM Cool can still make a massive mistake here, especially for the Fanya chicane. And as you can see, taking it nicely there, not really cautiously there, but not too aggressive there, but nicely done there through EJM Cool. He's 2/10 up here, Natty.
Purple through the middle sector. This could be a good lap from the Red Bull. Liam comes across the line, doesn't improve after losing his front wing at Rouge and Radion. EGM Cool is the only driver who can knock Mason off provisional pole position. Your championship leader, leading by 11 points. Can he extend his advantage out in front? Goes through the bus stop chicane for one last time in qualifying, up to the line, and goes purple with a 1:43.0. That is pole position. Mason's backed off in his time, and I don't think anyone else can beat it. Everyone else has crossed the line, so that is qualifying over Mason, backing off of his lap early on in the first sector. Maybe the slipstream he gave to EGM Cool in the run down the Kenmore Straight might have been the difference. We'll never know. And he comes into the pits to end qualifying, so EGM Cool will start on pole position, and Mason will join him alongside on the front row of the grid. Erod hasn't scored points this season so far, but will start third on the grid, with Lucas alongside him in fourth. On the mediums, Paistu will start in fifth alongside Kanan in sixth, Liam in seventh, Jansu in eighth, Dutch Musso in ninth, and Adidas rounding out the top 10 on the mediums. Apex in 11th place, just missing out on 10th place by a 10th, as Nico Zora starts behind him in 12th. Tutor Boy in 13th, Willie Sankett in 14th. Three drivers who didn't set times: Royal Rumble, Alexander and Robert Codfather. Start 15th, 16th and 17th.
So yeah, that is qualifying there, and EJ Cool, they're maintaining that very good form there. Sticks it on pole position. I believe that's an extra point there for him. So, and obviously every point counts here if Mason can try and fight back here later on in the championship, as Erod takes third and Lucas and PS2 take the top 5, as the rest of the grid obviously has been told here by Nazi. And yeah, so we've got Lucas and Adidas in the top 10, starting on those mediums here. And Natty, that could be quite interesting here, because they are on the alternate strategy, which could be a massive threat to the top drivers, and as well for the top 5 possibly for Adidas here. The Adidas could do a lot here, as well as Tutti Boy on his meters, but obviously he has a free choice of tyre, so he can go on the softs if he wishes. But yeah, so that is qualifying run and done, and now we'll go for the Grand Prix. Hopefully it's going to be sunny, not rainfall showers, and as you can see, great news, there is sun for the race, so there's no threat of rain for the time being, and we will get to racing speed very shortly.
That is correct. Just waiting for the drivers to select their tyres and adjust their strategies, put in or remove any unnecessary fuel, and then we'll be underway for the formation lap ahead of 22 laps of Spa. It's time for some weekly track facts, I think. So total lap length 4.3 miles or 7 kilometres long, the longest circuit on the calendar, maybe. I think we should go back to old Spa, but it was like 20 something kilometres. It's massive. Anyway, pole position starting on the right hand side. The distance from pole position to turn 1 is only 271 metres, so a good start is crucial if you're to lunge one up the inside. Cars are full throttle 70% of the time, and downforce level is said to be medium. It's really the compromise of how much front wing you put on for the middle sector, but then you leave yourself vulnerable going up Eau Rouge and Raidillon down the Kemmel Straight in towards the bus stop chicane as well. So we might see a few different ways that these drivers have gone about their strategy. An average of 42 gear changes per lap, and the pit lane loss time is about 17-18 seconds, which could be crucial for an undercut attempt.
Yeah, that's a very, very nice track information there from Natty there. So obviously pit lane time 17 to 18 seconds can be very, very crucial here, as said, and obviously the pit strategies will be important here, and obviously 3 DRS zones here. Two DRS zones, sorry. And yes, there will be 2 DRS zones. One on the Kemmel Straight and one also on the end on the first straight before turn 1, and obviously the Kemmel Straight will be the easiest place to overtake. You'll see a lot of overtaking there, as well as the bus stop chicane, because obviously you can really get a good slipstream through Blanchimont and then onto the bus stop chicane. But yeah, so we'll see how will the top 2 start. It's crucial to get a good start here, because obviously the rundown is very, very small, and obviously there's a massive slipstream here, so it depends really on how close Mason is, or EGM, whoever goes down or up here at the start phase of this race. But we are approaching now the checkered, not the checkered flag, that's a bit too early there, but yeah, so we'll start this race here, and we'll get to green flag racing here very shortly. But currently the championship leader EGM Cool here currently leading. Is can he maintain that championship lead? That's a big question here. Really, he's gonna think of defending it and going into this race and out of this race as a championship leader currently here for Belgium. But we're now approaching the grid, and now everyone will be setting themselves up and getting their clutches ready so they can start themselves off for this Grand Prix. 22 laps here around Belgium here. Let's see what can the drivers do here. 17 drivers. Last driver to approach now is Robert Codfather, and then someone behind here. I think that's Dutch Musso, who I think has had a spin, most likely. He's got some grass on his tyres, so he might have spun here, Natty, but Dutch Musso will start 9th, and Robert Codfather will start 17th. So now we'll get started with the Belgian Grand Prix.
Oh, I like Belgium and all, but the formation lap does take forever. 19 corners ahead of 22 laps here at Spa, and we're ready for the 5 red lights. We've got an awful camera angle showcasing the Red Bull. There we go, 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go ahead of the Belgium Grand Prix round 3 in the Premier Series. There's already Williams spinning off at the back. Who's retired? Alexander off down at before turn 1. Ejim Cool maintains his lead into turn 1, but a Ferrari's round and a Haas, McLaren's as well. We've got caught up in the incident. I think a Mercedes at the back, Robert Codfather as well. Liam's got a 5-second time penalty. There's a Haas in the wall. There's a virtual safety car that has been deployed before we've got to turn 2. A number of drivers caught up in a turn 1 incident, almost like the wet in '96, I think it was. Lots of end plate. There's Tootie Boy losing his front right end plate. Some drivers may even have side pod damage, which is harder to tell from the naked eye. But Ejim Cool maintains his lead at the end of turn 1, and the virtual safety car being deployed very early on. Liam with a 5-second time penalty.
Yes, I think Liam must have breached the rules here of safety, the virtual safety car, but really unfortunate there for Alexander. I think he must have spun the car at the start of the race, just about when he was about to get away. He might have just lost it and really hit the wall hard there, and which forced him out of the race there. And also there's a bit of debris there at the exit of turn 1. There's a bit of end plate damage, debris there. But yeah, Alexander's car is safely taken away now, so we'll get very, very shortly backed up to racing speed. But Liam, really good start there. Some extra, and that's Apex Royal now with wing damage in Natty. Something must have happened.
Looks like, yeah, Tootie Boy's falling through the field with his wing damage. Looks like the two Hasses trading positions. Looks like, I think that's Errod catching Adidas napping a little bit from the start. But all those inside the top 10 who were on the mediums, well, they're now out of the top 10. Adidas the only one on the mediums inside the top 10. There's a Ferrari, Dutch Musso. He might have gained a few positions there as the Red Bull of Apex comes into the pits. A few drivers gaining and losing positions as a few lap 1 victims make their first pit stop of the race. Errod, though, leads the way as Willy Sanka makes his way now up into the top 10 for the Mercedes team, who are yet to score points in the championship, I think. But Adidas doing a great job on the mediums, and Lucas not having a good start once again. He was spun round in USA, and he's been spun round again in Belgium. Whether there was contact or whether he dropped it by himself, we'll have to get an onboard footage to confirm it. But now down to 12th place, and will have to work his way through the field. Jansu and Willy Sanka going wheel to wheel in the battle for 9th place at the end of the Kemmel Straight, and the McLaren gets ahead of the Mercedes, but the Mercedes is going to fight back. Willy Sanka not quite finding the exit he might have wanted. Jansu going slightly defensive before pulling back over to the racing line and claims 9th place on lap 2.
Yeah, so Jansu there moving up to 9th position here, so that's great news there for him. Getting some extra points here for the McLaren team. Just 2 points there. Jansu goes a bit wide though. Look at Willy Sanka, he really at his gearbox there, and Willy Sanka really trying to pressurise Jansu here as Willy Sanka there. Really looking for a move here. Jansu's gone a bit deep as well as Willy Sanka there for a bit, but he's broke a bit hard there, Willy Sanka, to keep the car on track as Alexander leaves the session there after that unfortunate DNF. As Nico Zora here looking to get past Adidas here, as now he's trying to wrestle the car here through the bus stop chicane, as he's trying to stay like DRS here. 6/10 the gap at the moment, so we'll see, can Nico Zora wrestle the Haas and move up to 7th here. Let's see, what can Adidas do here to defend here on the Kemmel Straight. Now we go. Nico Zora has the ERS, and as you can see, Nico Zora with the absolute overspeed here, DRS and overtake. What else do you want here? And it's absolutely bittersweet here, and it's absolutely easy here for Nico Zora. Moves up into 7th place, no problem at all. He's got now 7th, and he's got 1.5 seconds to Erod here, who's trying to chase down Kanan here, and Dutch Musso's made a good start as well, so Ferrari getting a lot of points in this race. at the moment. Dutch Musso is going to try and get some more here, with Liam just about 1.1 second now behind Liam. Liam who's trying to stay in Mason's DRS here. So Liam doing a great job here, staying in that DRS. EJM Cool's just slowly drifting away here from Mason. Mason is slowly focusing on now defending from Liam here instead of EJM Cool, but EGM Cool is now just going to manage the pace here on this race, and we'll see who else can maybe go for some moves. Lucas is close to Willy Sanke, who's lost a lot of time here, quite interestingly.
Yeah, there's flags in the middle sector. There's a Red Bull off its apex, who's lost his front wing. That has brought out another virtual safety car. 4 laps into this race. Will anyone take this opportunity to dive it into the pits? Adidas from the mediums in. Nico Zora follows the Haas in behind. Anyone else for an early cheap stop? The time you save under the virtual safety car, about 10 seconds, whilst everyone else is going at a reduced speed. Willy Sanke in for a new front wing. That's why he was going slowly, and it's another set of the soft compound tyres, so we'll have to pit again. Nico Zora and Adidas in for hards and mediums, so the Haas will also need to pit again. And it was a front wing change for Adidas, so Nico Zora jumps him in the pits. Apex coming into the pits to repair his front wing. The reason the VSC was deployed in the first place. The Red Bull can now change onto a set of hards, new front wing, and you'd think the hards could go to the end after lap 4. I think they should be able to. It's whether Tootie Boy can take his hards to the end after pitting at the end of lap 1. We'll have to wait and see. Willy Sanke picks up a drive-through for speeding under the VSC, so no wonder he had to pit to repair the front wing, and now he's just been stabbed in the back with a drive-through.
And that is really unfortunate for Willy Sanke, so now he has to serve that in the next 3 laps, otherwise he's going to get stabbed in the back a bit more there and face disqualification of the race. As Apex Warrior gets a 3-second time penalty, he has Adidas and Nico Zora here scrapping for P11, as Nico Zora has a massive spin there through P1, uses the curb there on the left hand side, which does make you spin there, and Nico Zora, massive spin there, massive mistake, and Adidas really lucky there to not go into Nico Zora, but Pierre Chu as well passes his teammate here on the soft compound of tyres. So Nico Zora, unfortunate for him, and let's see, can he try and make a comeback, and let's see, can he maybe try and wrestle his Alpine on those hard tyres, which he will definitely go to the end of the race. But 17 laps, so we will see how will those hards be at the end of this race.
As the Pice choose into the pits off of the softs, he's only wanting to take them 5 laps as Dutch Musso gets ahead of Liam down the Kemmel Straight, puts the Ferrari onto a podium position. I think in the next few laps we should start seeing the scheduled pit stops from the softs onto a set of the mediums or hards. I think the mediums probably going to be the better race tyre. As you were saying in qualifying, it's really easy to spin on a lot of these curbs at this track, so maybe the grippier medium tyre will be more suitable, but obviously will degrade quicker than the hards. Maybe a safety car might influence the decisions in strategy. The top runners fairly close to each other. EGM Cool only pulling out a 2.4 second advantage to Mason, but is crucially outside of the DRS range. Royal Rumble's only 2 tenths behind Jansu. We've got a lot of close battles in the upper end of the grid. Everyone else having kind of individual incidents, which has dropped them back as Jansu gets a little bit out of shape. Royal Rumble with a really nice run through this middle sector. He could find an opportunity to get his Aston Martin ahead of the McLaren and put himself up into 7th place. He's using a lot of his overtake down the back straight. Is it going to be enough for a lunge in towards the bus stop chicane? Tucked in behind the slipstream of the McLaren, and gaining, runs wide and picks up a 3-second time penalty for going over the white lines. Doesn't go for it as Liam, his teammate, comes into the pits.
As well as Jansu there diving into the pits here, following Liam here. As now Dutch Musso will try and now use his ERS here, who actually Speaking about ERS, he's got less than 10% here, so Dutch Musso now will have to try and recharge that ERS with his DRS, as Adidas gets the fastest lap there with a 1 minute 46.9 here, 300ths faster here than EJM Cool there, so just about getting the fastest lap there, Adidas, sorry. There as Lucas Gold gets past Royal Rumble there and moves up into P6 there, so maybe the softs starting to show signs here for the drivers here, Natty, as they could start slowly losing grip and performance here, and this could show some threat to the top 5 here, who all are on the soft tyres.
Yeah, I think we're at that phase of the race where the softs are starting to go off. Maybe they're about 40-odd% worn, and it's getting a little bit sketchy, trying to take a lot of the curbs and trying to continue to push whilst not making mistakes. I would think we might have the top 3 into the pits this lap to cover the undercut attempt of those who pitted earlier. The undercut, super powerful at a track like Spa, one that has a really long lap time in the 1 minute 40s. Anyone going to pit? No, top 3 all stay out, interestingly. Kanan does, though, come into the pits to cover off any undercut attempt, or maybe try and undercut the cars in front. Let's keep an eye on his gap to the leaders. As yellow flags in the middle sector, there's a Mercedes off. It's Willy Sanka down at P1. He's still got a front wing, so shouldn't warrant a VSC as he gets going once again. Jansu and Liam going wheel to wheel into the bus stop chicane. The Aston Martin later on the brakes stays ahead of the McLaren, but Jansu's going to have the DRS, and the run in towards turn 1 deploys the overtake. Can he get the move done on the inside into turn 1? Yes, he can. Liam will try the switchback, get the run on the exit. These two could be going wheel to wheel through Rouge and Radeon. It can be done, but will it be done? The Aston Martin on the inside, Jux backs out as the McLaren goes through. But Liam with the overspeed, with the DRS, surely will now fly past the McLaren, who's defenceless down the Kelmer straight. Liam up into the points paying position, P10.
Yeah, so a nice move there from Liam, really interesting there. They nearly went side by side there through a Rouge, which is one of the most exciting point of views to see here, especially at Spa here, because obviously it is one of the most dangerous but satisfying corners in F1 history here, and obviously Liam really getting the move done here after trying to get that move done there on Rouge, but manages to get it with DRS there quite simply and easily here. Now Jansu's staying really in close company here to Liam here, and he's going to try and look for an opportunity to get the move done here. Maybe he could get it done here. Look, he's got a nice slipstream here. He's gaining and gaining and gaining. Can he try and get the move done here? The bus stop chicane, he is slowly but surely closing in here, but I don't think he will go for the move here. And Liam defends there. I think Jansu tried to compromise Liam's line there so he could get a bad exit and get a lot closer. And now Jansu will have the DRS, and Robert Koffler gets ahead of Dutch Musso, who's pitted on the hards here, really interestingly, Natty. So Dutch Musso taking it really safe here, which could affect him and could take him in the lower positions of this race.
As Lucas swoops around the outside of Errod at the end of the Kemmel Straight at turn 5, moves his way back up into 3rd place. The gap starting to open up between him and Mason. Jansu now ahead of Liam on the inside. Gets his McLaren back up into the points ahead of Liam's Aston Martin. He's got a feeling those two are going to be battling a lot in this race. Dutch Musso up into 6th place ahead of Robert Cordfaber, down just before No Name. Moves the Ferrari up into 6th place. Interestingly, EGM Cool decided to stay out at the end of the previous lap. I think he's going to stretch these softs for a set of the medium tyres, which should, let's see, let's have a look at the gap to leader. He should come out comfortably and clean ahead behind Royal Rumble, but ahead of Dutch Musso when he does decide to come into the pits. It looks like it's this lap. So the race leader, EGM, called into the pits off of the softs. Mason follows him in. Lucas on the mediums would stay out to take the net lead of the race. Rod follows everyone else into the pits, promotes Royal Rumble up into second place.
As now, yes, so EGM on the mediums, Mason on the mediums, E-Rod now will go into the pits here on the mediums as well, so no driver here going on the hards, interestingly. But look at Dutch Musa, he's got the undercut done by 1.4 seconds here, and he's now into provisionally P2.
So
and now this is going to be interesting.
Masterclass in the strategy for the Ferrari driver, pitting early to come out ahead of his rival. I mean, it's such a powerful track to get the undercut, and it's such a long lap. There's a Red Bull and an Alpine fairly close together in the battle for 14th place at Apex, ahead of Paistu. But the gap out in front, kind of like for the race leaders who have pitted, they're fairly close to each other. But we should start seeing the fresher tyres starting to close in on those who pitted a few laps early. I think Paistu's got a good chance of getting ahead of the Red Bull. The gap, 0.3 of a second. The Alpine opens the DRS down the Camel straight in the run down towards turn 5. Apex defends the inside, but it's not going to be enough unless he's super late on the brakes. He is super late on the brakes, almost goes off, and can't maintain 14th place. Paistu moves himself up a position and can hunt down the Mercedes of Robert Codfather 12 seconds ahead.
Yeah, so now Paistu will try, and it nearly hits the wall there. No name. But yeah, so Piero, Dutch Musa can catch EJM. That's a very, very interesting point there, but I don't think he'll get him right now, because obviously EJM has the fresh medium tyres, but Dutch Musa will have the advantage at the end of the race. But obviously you can also have a look as well as his ERS levels. He's just about in the 10% area. Mason's slowly closing in on Dutch Musa now, so yeah, great strategy from Ferrari. The Ferrari master plan there going into effect. The other Ferrari leading this race, still is due to pit, but the master plan is going into effect here.
Yellow flags in the first sector. There's an Aston Martin off at Rouge and Radeon. It's Royal Rumble. Doesn't look like he's got major damage. He might have a knock to either end plate. He was backwards going up the hill, so I assume he just lost the rear, which is so easy to do at many corners at this track. One such iconic as Rouge and Radeon will drop down to 12th place, and those mediums are going to be slightly cooked, so he just needs to be a little bit cautious on this lap to bring those tyre temps down, so he doesn't risk another spin. But yeah, Mason closing in on the back of Dutch Musa, and it's quite difficult to save ERS in this game. So I'd favour Mason to get ahead of the Ferrari, but don't count out the Ferrari's pace. I mean, my personal driving style in this game, I don't use ERS at all in the first half of the race and then just burn it all at the end. As he's only got 3% left compared to Mason's 40, 50%. Wow. So it's going to be a tough job for the Ferrari driver to keep the Alfa Romeo behind. Dutch Musa also on the hard tyres, so there is a big difference in the compounds. We're halfway through this race. Can Dutch Musa defend third place? He's got Mason a few tenths behind him. Before Rouge and Radeon, you'd favour him with the DRS going down the Camel Straight.
So now Mason will try and go for the overtake here, as now Dutch Musa will be pretty much defenseless here with no ERS, and now this will be Mason here cruising past the Ferrari and moves up into third place here, into the podium positions here at the moment, but now gets ahead here, as for a moment I thought he had a bit of a spin there for a second, so that's why I raised my voice for a mere moment. But Mason keeps his nerve there and stays on track. But yeah, Mason really conserving his ERS because in this game, to be honest, as Natty said, obviously ERS at some circuits is absolutely mad, I should say, at ERS, and it's really hard to save ERS like such tracks like Singapore. I think as well as some different track circuits, street circuits, I should say. Except for Azerbaijan, because like Azerbaijan has a lot of braking, high speed braking, not high speed braking, low speed corners. So obviously ERS will be easy to save, but Belgium has some high to medium speed corners, so you'll obviously get less ERS. Obviously from those corners, but Dutch Musso staying just about in the DRS here. Dutch Musso going a bit too hot on the brakes, which closes him the door here to the DRS here. He's trying to use the ERS, but it is not good enough to get to the DRS, so Dutch Musso now is just about second behind here of Mason, who's going to try now stay ahead here of Dutch Musso and keep it on track here. We've got around 11 more laps in this race, and then we've got the checkered flag, but still Lucas still leading this race here on the alternate strategy. So as Erod and Liam now battling for position here, Erod getting ahead of Liam here. Nice move there from the Haas, and moves up into 8th here, and Liam now relegates down to 9th position, and he's going to try and battle for P8 once again.
Pierre saying in the chat, it is a nice clean race, so the stewards can have a sit back and enjoy this week. We've only had one retirement, and that was before turn 1. We've had a few individual spins, but no coming togethers apart from turn 1, lap 1. Lucas on the mediums highest continues to lead this race out the end of lap 12, starting lap 13, ahead of the championship leader EGM Cool, who started this race on pole position. Yellow flags as there's a McLaren off. It's Tutti Boy round backwards, now facing the right direction. A similar incident to one of Antonio Giovinazzi a few years ago, and they'll drop down to 13th place behind Robert Hodgfather. Let's have a look and see what tyres everyone else. Everyone's on, majority on mediums. Dutch Musso on the hard, Liam, Nico Zora at Tutti Boy and Apex also on the hard. So everyone should be going to the end of the race, apart from those who haven't used 2 sets of tyre compounds. Maybe Lucas will take the lesson from Alex Albon in Australia and take those mediums to lap 21 before pitching to the softs. Wouldn't recommend it in the game, but who knows what the Ferrari strategy might be. Might be gambling on a safety car, but I think he's in a good position, because with the gap to the leader, he should come out in 6th place roughly. It'll be very close to Kanan. And on the softs, he may even be able to challenge Mason if he can find 7 seconds when he decides to pit.
Yeah, so Lucas can still battle here, because obviously the gap to Mason will be around 6 seconds. Here, someone has spun. That's Dutch Musso. That
could be a safety car or a VSC. It is a safety car.
Wow. This is a miracle for Lucas.
We were talking about how when Lucas is coming into the pits, well, he's approaching the bus stop now and will be into the pits for a set of soft tyres. It should be, I think, soft should be able to get to the end. They can do the remaining 9 laps plus the laps under the safety car. So almost a miracle for Lucas. He can pit under the safety car, not lose too much time, and he's going to come out in the lead of the race because EGM Cool is also into the pits. Off of the mediums, Mason in. I think everyone is going to be into the pits for a fresh set of soft compound tyres, which should see us for a 7-odd lap shootout, assuming we don't have any more safety cars. Everyone apart from Erod coming into the pits, so the Haas is going to leapfrog a few positions, maybe ahead of the Alfa Romeo. I don't think he's going to get ahead of the Red Bull, who's just coming out of the pits now. Lucas, he was, well, sideways through turn 1 on lap 1. He is now leading this race on lap 14.
Yeah, so unfortunately Ferrari DNFing and as well as giving a safety car which helps his teammate Lucas obtain the lead here in this race. So a nice give there from his teammate, but unfortunately there still for Dutch Musso. Done a really good race here, Natty, and really challenged for the podium, but unfortunately had a massive crash there at the Fania chicane. There obviously Lewis Hamilton then 2019 having a big shunt there at the wall, just a bit to the left there, straight to the wall, but the Mercedes crew did manage to get his car ready for qualifying. But yeah, so now Lucas will lead this race, and he will now stay behind the safety car here, and hopefully this safety car will go 5 seconds faster, as if nobody has heard. Some people have been claiming and joking about Aston Martin's safety car. It's going very as slow as a turtle, very, very slow. And yeah, and Max Verstappen, I think famously said that the Mercedes AMG safety car could go 5 seconds faster than the Aston Martin safety car, quite famously. But yeah, hopefully everything will be alright now with the safety car. But now we will see when will the safety car end. I believe it will probably end next lap. It depends on how close will Willie Sanka close to the grid.
Looks like we're going to get another lap under the safety car. 2 retirements from this race, 2 VSCs and 1 safety car. Dutch Musso crashing a few laps ago, which has brought out the red AMG safety car, and Alexander not making it to turn 1, dropping it from the grid. Robert Codfather staying out on medium tyres. Nico Zora Paistu pitting for a fresh set of mediums, whereas everyone else has gone onto a set of the soft compound tyres. Let's have a look at the biggest gainers and losers during the race. Lucas up 3 positions, Robert Codfather up 10, Adidas and Royal Rumble up 5, Paistu down 8, and Dutch Musso down 7. The biggest changes in this race. In terms of time penalties, we've got a few. Errod, Kanan, Nico Zora, Tutti Boy, Paistu and Willie Sanka all with 3 seconds, Royal Rumble with 6 and Apex with 9. It looks like Liam's been able to serve that 5-second time penalty he got at turn 1 on the opening lap.
Yep, that is correct. But yeah, so as Liam nearly makes contact with Yanzu there, pretty much nearly taps him there. They were really, really close, and nearly gave him a haircut, as some people say, but then nearly shaved Yanzu there. But yeah, nicely for both, as they both of them did not get a penalty, because obviously the littlest of contact can get you a 5-second time penalty. And yeah, there's a lot of evidence. You can obviously have a look, obviously, as well as some drivers play this game. Obviously it does quite often happen, which is quite of a really unfortunate way to have a penalty, but obviously Codemasters has fixed that and made it a bit more fair now, so it's great news from them. But Robert Codfather here looking to get some extra points here. I believe he finished in the top 10. I believe, I'm not sure 100%, but I believe he salvaged into the top 7, I believe, in the Freshman League Championship last season here. So he had an excellent season last season, because for the first 2 seasons in his Gava racing career, he's had 0 points and no points finishes for him. But last season, Freshman League, he was absolutely killing it, and he was on fire. But I believe the safety car is going in this lap, Natty.
Yes, indeed, it is. The lights are off, and Lucas becomes the de facto safety car, leading all 15 drivers through the final few corners. The safety car pulls into the pits, and Lucas has gone now. I thought he was going to go on the exit of the bus stop chicane, maybe had the limiter, but he's caught EGM a little bit napping here. Robert Codfather already a second and a half behind Kane and not having the best safety car restart. I think the FIA need to get onto the back of that Williams because he's got no helmet. So Robert Codfather runs wide at turn one. Jansu now promoted up into 7th place. Look how much time EGM has found through turn one. It's 2/10 behind Lucas, the race leader. Mason picks up a 3-second time penalty as the Ferrari weaves to break the slipstream quite a few times, weaving down the straight. Here goes EGM call in towards turn 5. Couldn't quite find a way through. Adidas trying to get past Mason, who stuck behind the Haas on the Warner medium compound tyres. Jansu gets Tutti Boy ahead of Nico Zora.
Oh, wow. Sorry there, but Apex nearly hitting Pieshu there and nearly spun there. Apex really was thirsty to get the move done, to get the position, but he tapped the Alpine and nearly spun, and Willy Sanka nearly overtook him. But as you can see, Apex Royal and Pieshu going side by side through Pouhon here, and now Apex Royal will try and go for the move. Someone spun at Pouhon, that's Willy Sanka, and he's now off the circuit. Their second time in this race, I believe. He has spun at Pouhon.
Both Hasses going wheel to wheel for the majority of the middle sector. Adidas and Erod side by side as Mason got ahead of one Haas. Can Adidas get ahead of his teammate? They're still going wheel to wheel. Through Rosman, there's contact between the two Hasses. Caden almost rear T-bones Erod, who's now off into the barrier. The yellow flag's being deployed. Shouldn't be VSC, but Drummer down in the Haas pit wall, as I'm sure Gunther Steiner might have lost another door, as that is Erod at the back of the grid. Adidas now up into 4th place. Maybe the stewards might have to look at that. Couldn't quite get the best camera angle to see if anyone was at fault or whether it was a racing incident. Lucas has pulled a gap to EGM behind now, 0.8 of a second. I'm not sure the Red Bull is going to be exactly happy with the way Lucas defended on the previous lap. There could be some tensions between these two in the battle for the lead. Adidas and Mason now going wheel to wheel. The Alpha has spun out the exit of turn 5 into 6. That's going to drop Mason down a few positions. He might get fall out, but just ahead, of Tutti Boy. But his tyres are going to be cooked. Here goes the McLaren now on the inside and gets the move done. Mason's just got to cool down those tyre temps before he goes for it once again. But that gap out in front kind of stabilising at 0.8. The DRS will be enabled at the end of the next lap, at the start of the next lap, which should give EGM the chance to gain on Lucas, but temporarily fell outside the DRS range, has now pulled it within 0.8. Lucas picks up a 3-second time penalty with 5 laps to go. That could be crucial in the final results of this race.
Yes, definitely it can be crucial there, but really unfortunate for Mason. They're really... Mason, they're a really good job though, and I think, Mason really unlucky there for him, but Lucas done a really good move though. Not a really good move though, a bad move there, and got him a 3-second time penalty. And that could really impact him, but we'll see. Does EGM have warnings? He has 1 warning, so EGM needs to get 2 more warnings to get a 3-second time penalty.
Look how much the top 2 have already pulled out a gap to Adidas behind. Yes, they've been going wheel to wheel for the majority of the last lap, but the pace of the front 2 is incredible, very reminiscent of Leclerc and Verstappen, both in the Ferrari and the Red Bull, leading the way. Thankfully this race has only got 22 laps, so the Red Bull shouldn't have an engine failure. Adidas bringing out the final podium position, about a second clear of Kane, and the McLaren in the background almost losing it on the curb, but the midfield still fairly close and competitive together. Still anyone can finish inside this top 10. There's a lot of drivers picking up time penalties, and a lot of them on a fresh set of soft tyres. Pichu getting ahead of Nico Zora up into 12th place. We're trying to hunt down Robert Codfather and Apex to find his way into the points. But starting lap 18, halfway through lap 18, if we don't get any incidents on this lap, then it should be safety car free to the end. Having said that, Robert Codfather has dropped it down at Pouhon. That can still bring time out for a safety car, but he's facing the right direction. He's got back going, and that's both Mercedes down in 14th and 15th place. So as we start lap 19, 3 laps to go, no safety car can be deployed at this stage of the race.
Yeah, that is very, very, very unlucky there for Robert Codfather. Was in the top 10 there for a moment, but now unfortunately has spun here. Royal Rumble defending here from Tutti Boy here. Tutti Boy and Royal Rumble just about has the DRS running in the Ukraine helmets following the conflict in Europe. But yeah, so currently we could see Royal Rumble here could be forced to defend here from Tutti Boy, but Tutti Boy has the better speed now because of the slipstream here, but Royal Rumble is closing in so much here on Liam here. He's now 3/10 within Liam here, and you'll see now what will happen between those. But Lucas still leading here by a very, very mere amount from EJM Cool here, who's just got one warning. Lucas has a 3-second time penalty, so he will currently be second here. So we'll see how will EJM Cool manage his track limits here. Mason gets a 3-second time penalty now, and I believe he promotes down to 6 seconds. And now Mason, his race is going from bad to worse.
And last week in USA, the race leader changed 3 times on the last lap due to the course of the wet weather we received. Will that happen here again today, with the top 2 separated by 1.2 seconds, 1/10 separating Tutti Boy and Royal Rumble as they approach the bus stop chicane? Will the McLaren be late enough on the brakes to send one down the inside? Not on this occasion. Royal Rumble being helped by his team up, giving him the tow, keeping him ahead for now. Liam, with no penalties, is in a good position to finish ahead of those behind him. EJM Cool has just brought the gap back within the DRS range. I don't think he's close enough though to go for a move. He's going to be gaining all the time, just pulls out of the slipstream, looks for the inside but isn't close enough. With 2 laps to go, the battle for the midfield kicking off as well, with Tutti Boy only 3/10 behind the Aston Martin, but can't gain that much down the straight. He's using all of his overtake to try and close in on the Aston Martin, who's also got the DRS wide open, but he's got a little bit deep. This could allow the McLaren to set himself up for a move, maybe before No Name. He's going to go for it on the inside. Is he going to send one down the inside? Royal Rumble's also late enough on the brakes, leaves the door open. Tutti Boy and Liam going side by side in the battle for 7th place. Royal Rumble keeps ahead, but it's gone wide off the track. There's contact. Tutti Boy's off into the wall, and he's lost his front wing. And that might need to be looked at the stewards once again. But Tutti Boy on lap 20 has lost his full front wing and will be back into the pits to get it repaired. Just as Piero was saying, they might have a day off this week. They might be having a few claims sent their way. Tutti Boy will fall to the back of the grid, but the gap out in front, only 0.3 of a second. EJM Cool has brought this one back, and he's within the DRS range going into turn 1. I don't think he's close enough to go for a move. Looks like Lucas is better than him through the bus stop chicane, but how is his exit through turn 1?
Yeah, so the stewards will definitely look at that incident between Tutti Boy and it was between a Royal Rumble here, but now it's the penultimate lap of this Grand Prix here, and obviously Lucas now will be under pressure here. Can EJM here look for a move here on Lucas? I don't think he'll go for the move. He looks, but he doesn't go for the move there, stays behind the Ferrari here, as Tutti Boy does indeed pit there.
Oh, Apex is
a
off.
Massive crash.
And we can't see the car through the grandstand, but riding on board with Lucas, just riding on board with the Red Bull before he binned it down at the top of Rouge and Radion. And that is another car out of this race on the penultimate lap. Here goes Errod on the outside of Nico Zora. Can he get this one stick? The Alpine goes a little bit deep, and the Haas says thank you very much. And gets up into 10th place, knocks Nico Zora out of the points. There's 1.5 laps to go, and Lucas, with the lead of this race on track, may not win it because of penalties.
Yeah, definitely. And now Apex Royal sadly DNFs here in this Grand Prix. But yeah, Erod really done a good move there and gets P10 there just about, getting 1 point for himself, and at total, I'm just gonna need a quick check. Does he have he does not have the fastest lap, so it will be 16 points for the Haas team, so they'll take that definitely. And now Lucas starts the fastest lap here, so all eyes now are on Lucas in EJM here. Can Lucas defend here from EJM Cool? The gap is 7/10 here, but Lucas has no ERS left. His red light is flashing, whereas EJM Cool still has a bit of ERS here, but now he's run out of ERS here. Now it will be a drag race to the Lacombe section. Now will EJM Cool dive it? He won't. He'll stay behind here, but he's going to try and do a very good Lacombe. As you can see, really smooth here, trying not to make a mistake here as the final lap here, and it's just all about precision as well as trying to maximize the amount of curb as well, because obviously the curbs in this game do really annoy some of the drivers throughout the game base. But obviously we'll see how will the pair of them, will anyone make a massive mistake which could force them out of race win territory. But I think EJM Cool has managed to stay there in 5/10. Will he maybe go for a move here onto the bus stop chicane? Obviously, hopefully there won't be a very big send here. As you can see, look at the overspeed Natty he has on Lucas here. Now through Blanchimont we go now, and it will be Lucas defending here. Will EJM do a big dive bomb? He is not. He's gonna stay behind because Lucas has done a great race here, pitted on the safety car, but unfortunately 3 seconds has denied him here. He takes first on the checkered flag, but EJM Cool wins the Belgium Grand Prix and continues the championship reign at the top there, and that's a great race from EJM. Adidas was third, Kanan fourth, Yanzu fifth, Liam sixth, Roy Rumble seventh. Good day in the office. Is now Mason actually is now seventh because of penalties, I believe. But Liam sixth and Roy Rumble eighth. Good day for the Aston Martin outfit, both in the points there. Mason P6 with Pieshu P8, Kanan 9th, Erod 10th, just about getting that last point with Nico Zora 11th, Willie Sanka 12th, Robert Carfather now through the final section here. Tootie Boy trying to get the move on Robert Carfather. They're nearly side by side. It's going to be nearly a photo finish there for the pair of them, but it's going to be Tootie Boy crossing the line last here on this race.
Adidas winning driver of the day, and Lucas winning it on track. EJM Cool winning it on penalties, and something that stewards might have a look at. Paishu losing the rear of the car at the final corner, and just as I went to spectate the Alpine, it looked like there might have been a reset to track, and he did finish in the points. And if that was the case, then it is going to be a disqualification from the race for the Alpine driver. But going back to the race leader and the championship leader, EJM Cool extending his advantage out in front, went into this race 11 points clear of the driver behind, will now extend his gap out in front. Lucas in second will claw some points back in his championship fight, and Adidas from 10th to 3rd, rounding out the podium. Jansu in 4th, Lehman 5th, Mason in 6th, Royal Rumble in 7th, and Paish finishing in 8th, but may be demoted to the back of the grid of the stewards team. It was a reset to track. Kanan in 9th, could be promoted to 8th, with Erod in 10th, and Nico Zora in 11th. Willie Sanka finishing in 12th, with Rob Godfather in 13th, just ahead of Tootie Boy in 14th. Apex, Dutch Muso and Alexander DNFing from this race. But another great race here in the Premier Series. It's getting interesting towards the top of the championship. Some drivers benefiting from others. And good day for Aston Martin as well, clawing some points in the Constructors' Championships. I have no idea what the next race is, and I made the calendar. Bear with me. I will find it somewhere. I think it's Monza. It is Monza. I knew it was one of the Italian tracks for the first sprint race of the season. It will be a 25% race followed by a reverse grid for the 50% race. You'll see how it works next week. What else is happening this week? Tomorrow, Super League at the same time. Tomorrow at Belgium, where you see those drivers negotiate the 19 corners of Spa. And on Friday, we have another GT7 event at a track that I can't remember, and I'm actually hosting it. I made the Red Bull Ring, that's it.
Oh, wow.
So stay tuned for that. But I don't know if you have any final comments about the race.
But yeah, it was a very interesting race, definitely. And yeah, it was a great race overall. And yeah, so EJM Cool takes the win here, and that could be really crucial for the championship for him here. But that is everything from me. And yeah, it was great commentating here today. Bit late, a bit late here joining, but still great commentating here in the Premier Series for the third round.
Yeah, that is it. Like we're saying, join us next week for the first sprint race of the season. Let's see how that goes. Only time will tell. Can EGM Cool extend his championship lead, or will someone else beat him to the top step of the podium? I'm Jackson AG, and I'll see you all on Friday. Goodbye.